What's going on, guys? This is Bobby Douglas, and welcome to another 2021 NBA Draft Prospect Full Game Video Breakdown. Today, we're going to be taking a look at LSU scoring guard Cam Thomas. The kid was just an electrifying bucket getter for the Tigers this past season. I think he had 30 in their game against Michigan in the NCAA tournament. His percentages aren't really there, but I really buy his microwave scoring potential. I see him as probably maybe like a sixth man type, kind of a spark plug off the bench that could come in, isn't afraid to get shots up, things like that. So maybe like a Lou Williams type, with some seasoning. But I'm excited to watch him play. I think he's one of the more exciting players to watch in this class. So let's get right into it. In this game, he is going to have, I believe, 27 points. So he's all over the floor. He only plays 29 minutes. This game kind of gets out of hand for Auburn, especially around the second half. And so, yeah, let's watch him play. He's going to be number 24 in the white, so he's right here. So Cam Thomas right now, he's a top 20 guy on my board. I have him right there at number 20, so clearly in the first round for me at this stage. I understand the concerns about him. I understand that he doesn't play defense, at all. I understand he doesn't really do anything outside of shoot and score. But, I think that scoring potential and that just bucket-getting ability, I think it's enough for me to put him in the first round. But people are probably going to disagree with me on him, and that's fine. I'm higher on him probably than most, I would say. But again, number 24 in the white, and the first thing that probably jumps out to you is just how bad he is defensively. So, right here, for example, this is the first play of the game. He's upright. He doesn't give a shit defensively, and he's just going to let this guy cut right in front of him for the easy basket. That can't happen, And so there are tons of plays like that where Cam Thomas just falls asleep, or he's just kind of disengaged, and that's kind of what people worry about with him. Defensively, I think he kind of has a higher ceiling on that end if he starts to buy in. But, I think that given what he showed at LSU, that's a big if. I think he's going to be a good scorer just because I think he does a great job at getting to the free throw line. I think he averaged 8 free throw attempts a game at LSU this season, which is absurd. And he's really good at getting to the line. He's really good at eye fakes, things like that. But it's pretty much going to come down defensively. We got a little, I don't even know what you're going to call that there. But so, yeah, there are clearly things you need to worry about with him. But I do think the scoring is legit to the point where I'm comfortable taking him in the first round, especially if you're a contending team that only needs him to do a certain thing, which is score. Right here you could see that 3. And you can see right here. So again, the shot form's a little bit weird, right? It's kind of like the elbow's kind of flared out. He's off balance a lot, but he can just make shots. And he only shot 32% from 3, but the reason for that is because some of the shots probably a majority of shots he took were just crazy, right? And he showed an ability to make these types of crazy shots. This is just a stare down 3. And again, just rise and fire. And so I buy the shot. He shot 88.2% from the free throw line. So he's a really good free throw shooter. I think he's a really good shooter in the NBA as well. I think he's pretty good off of movement as well. He can kind of get his shot off in any given context, which I think is really important. Right there, maybe offer a little bit more help side resistance, but at least he was able to make that rotation. So yeah, right here, kind of a bad slip, and then just, yeah. So, again, you're not going to see him do a lot defensively. Or anything outside of score, really. And you can see him coming off of a floppy action right here, and he's going to get a ball screen. Let's see what he does here. So again, right here, you can just see him he's looking for a shot, and you can see, I think it's a deflection. Not a good passer, doesn't really look up when he dribbles. It's basically once he gets the ball, he's kind of like a black hole, which is good in some contexts because, LSU kind of needed that go-to scorer, but in other senses, you'd like to see him maybe contribute a little bit more to, getting open teammates, because I think he does have the driving gravity with his, quickness and his, cleverness to get open teammates. But, at that 6'4", 210 type of role, that's kind of combo guard central, right? And so, I think he's probably more suited playing the 2, but then again, can he play the 2 if he's not going to give effort defensively? So, kind of a bit of a tweener, I would say. And that's why I think he's probably best suited right now coming off the bench. And just being a six-man spark plug type of player. So again, See right there, that's like a really, really smart, savvy move, and he's going to miss that shot. And those are the types of shots he takes, right? But I just want to focus on the cut here because he's so intuitive when it comes to getting open, right? And so sometimes he'll be a little bit lazy. He'll stand in the corner. But when he's cutting off the ball, I think he's really, really smart. So you'll see him right here. Like, he sets his man up perfectly. He's just going to come through the free throw line like a little Iverson cut. He's going to get an open look right here that he ultimately misses. But I do like the way that he can create space using that kind of cleverness. He's really good at eye fakes, right? So he can get his defender up in the air when he has the ball. And so I do think he has that kind of like deceptiveness to really make NBA defenders kind of worry about him. You can see right here on defense, again, like kind of late to rotate. LSU's going to get that turnover. But just like off the ball, you know, he's not always the most engaged off the ball. Excuse me. But when he is, I think he could be a very, very effective player in that role. You can see him right here kind of coming off of that little, looks like he was going to lift up. But LSU's going to hit that three. I think we got something. Yeah, here we go. But again, literally all he did was pretty much score. He averaged 3.5 rebounds a game, which isn't horrible for his size. Only 1.5 assists a game compared to like 1.7 turnovers. So obviously right here, and you can see him defensively just totally out of position, right? He should be trying to front this, it looks like. And you can just totally see he just is willingly sealed off. And this is a wide open pass if Auburn could just connect on it. And so he needs to do a better job. Obviously, I know it's not, like that's not an optimal position for him to be in terms of size. But, you know, just a little bit better effort right there would have been nice to see. But it did lead to the turnover. This LSU team in general, too, played zero defense. So that's just something to keep in mind. Like, it wasn't only Cam Thomas. Like, I don't think anybody on this team was really a particularly good defender. So you can see him off the ball right now. He's in the weak side. And you can see he's just kind of like standing upright, you know, walking around, not really in a stance. Tends to ball chase a lot, will lose track of his man on box outs. Just really defensively, he's kind of just like a blank slate. You kind of need to teach him basically from the start. But then right here, you can see the shot-making ability. He notices that Sharif Cooper's on him. Obviously, Cooper is limited defensively due to his size. And it's just a nice little stop and pop, spin around, pull up. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, the shot-making that he... And, like, the shot-making and the ultimate confidence that he has, like, that's kind of unmatched for me. And so that's something that I kind of like to see. You know, I like to see this guy. He's a freshman. He was a 4-star guy. You can see him right here. He's late. And again, LSU's like trying to switch everything. And it's just such a nightmare. You can see Cam Thomas is just totally lost defensively right here. But he manages to get that rebound. And now he's going to try and take it all the way himself. And he's going to, that's just a really impressive play, right? So he's just taking it up the floor. And again, really good at drawing fouls, and then he's able to finish that right there. Just special play from Cam Thomas. But, like, the confidence that he showed for being a 4-star freshman, right? Like, you don't see that very often, especially on an LSU team that was pretty good. Like, they were a good team last year, right? And I think Thomas is going to make this free throw. 88%, remember. So I do kind of like that he was able to just kind of, like, walk in there with that alpha dog mentality. I think that kind of shows a lot about him. Just in terms of, like, he's not going to be one to be intimidated by the NBA, things like that. So, you know, I think stuff like that is kind of, like, important, you know? Like, sometimes you see a lot of these freshmen, like, think about, like, Cam Reddish a few years ago, right? They show up to college as these big-time recruits, and then they're kind of timid, right? That wasn't the case with Cam Thomas, though. He played with, like, that 4-star chip on his shoulder. He was playing like he wanted to prove people wrong, and he was a very key part of this LSU team. You can see right here, decent job contesting, but again, he's totally just worked out of position in the post. LSU's defensive scheme, where they kind of just switch everything, is kind of, you know, ill-fitting because it requires a lot of communication and stuff, and this is not an LSU team that I would like to be, you know, testing out defensive concepts with. But you can see right here, just they switch it again, and now Thomas is in the post. Javonte Smart's going to double, but again, just like really and again right there, just allows his man to get the offensive rebound and just kind of just like a very blah sort of thing. So yeah, but you can see right there, just shake and bake. His handle's pretty good as well. The only issue is that he sometimes tends to get tunnel vision. But still, like, to have the ball as much as he did for LSU and only average around 2 turnovers a game, that's pretty good. But you can see right here, just really good handle. Just beats his guy at the dribble and then bang, easy layup for him. And so like first 6.5 minutes or 5.5 minutes, excuse me, and he already has 10 points, right? And so like he just again like the microwave type scoring ability that's like so present. And then defensively you can just see him like he's just doing whatever he wants really. You know, he's kind of like a lost puppy out there, just kind of like following the ball, just being turned around constantly. You can see him right here. Really nice job getting that ball fake off, and then he can't finish on the floater, but I like the shot creation he did there. So yeah, but just, you know, just kind of like the dichotomy offense defense with him. You know, you really just, you gotta, if you're going to draft Cam Thomas, you kind of need to know what you're getting. And he's not really going to offer much else, at least not early in his career, although I do think he has somewhat of a high upside, especially given where he'll probably be drafted. Another thing I noticed too is that he very much ball chases on offense. So like it kind of reminds me of like a second grade Park District League, right? Where like you can see he just really has no concept for spacing. So like right here, this is obviously a DHO, right? So like he'll be right here, okay, and then he's just gonna come up once Trendon Watford gets the ball, which is something that you don't really see. Like what spacing is this, right? You know, it just seems very, very clumped together. And again, it feels like a second grade Park District team where everyone's trying to like, you know, screaming like Bobby, 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 you know, like trying to get the ball. It feels like that a little bit with Cam, you know, but again, I think that kind of just goes to like his like scorer's mentality and things like that. But, you know, I would like to see him kind of have a better understanding of spacing and off ball, movement, just because especially he's very, very like intuitive off the ball when he wants to be. So I think that's something that he should probably somewhat like embrace more, rather than kind of fight that. I think we got a timeout for LSU here, so I will skip ahead. Team right here. Cam Thomas is out for a little bit, by the way, so he's out for like 1.5 minutes of YouTube time, so I'll skip ahead here. 12:47 right here. Oh yeah, I forgot Dallin Cuff is on this call. Dallin Cuff, actually, funny story. So I actually interviewed him. I interviewed Dallin Cuff for the channel like back in probably like December or January, and he was a super nice guy, super gracious with his time, obviously. Only issue is that the sound, like when I played it back, the sound just disappeared, so I couldn't publish it. But, you know, we talked about like Duke and Kentucky. That was back when they were kind of struggling. Obviously, Kentucky and Duke both continued their struggles, but back then it was kind of a new thing to see, and we talked about the ACC as well. But he's a super nice guy. Like him a lot, but unfortunately the sound failed me, and so I couldn't upload it. So here's Thomas with the ball. This is totally, oh yeah, he wanted it, but you can see just like the hesitant, and like because he's known as like a scorer and just kind of like a, you know, a shooter type, you know, bucket getter type, like just the subtle eye fake, right, gets his man in the air, and if he doesn't like lose his dribble, right, you can see him, JT Thor gets bounced in the air. You can see, I think this is Alan Flanagan kind of gets caught, and it's going to be an open three, somewhat open three for Darius Days. He just can't hit it. So I think like in terms of like the scoring gravity, if he can be a little bit more efficient, I think he has all like the kind of the moves to be effective as kind of like a one pass away distributor, right? And so I think that's something to keep in mind with him. And we could see that's just LSU being LSU. Because I think like he has kind of like the quick twitch moves to really kind of get defenders off their feet and get the defense out of rotation. And we've seen how valuable that is like in the playoffs and stuff like that. Just being able to you know, create for others by using your scoring gravity. I think that's something that's really important to have. And if you can master it effectively, I think it's a very advantageous skill. And here's Thomas just kind of walking off the ball, and you can see they're going to run an elevator screen for him. You don't see that very often. But again, he's going to just fire that shot up. And again, those are the types of shots he can hit. But I like this action from LSU getting him open, right? So it's just a simple elevator screen. So right here, they actually catch Sharif Cooper and Cam Thomas. Eternal green light. Just can't knock it down there. But you know, overall, that's like a good action. And again, you can see off the ball, I think he can create space well because he's pretty crafty in that regard. Not the quickest guy, but then, he has, like, plays like that where it's like he can get himself open. And if he embraces screens, he embraces kind of being set up by his teammates, it should open up a lot more doors for him, I would imagine. We got Cam, just kind of not much going on for him there. And we got Trendon Watford, 6'9", basically point guard for them at times in transition. You see him right here. Let's see what he does. So maybe got away with the travel right there. And again, just that's the type of shot where you're just kind of like, what the fuck, right? So, I mean, like, this, by no means is this a good shot, okay? But he manages to just get it in and then, draws the foul as well. And again, like we talked about it, like, really good at getting to the free throw line, drawing fouls, and again, just making the kind of, like, the no-yes shots. Like, that's Cam Thomas' specialty. It doesn't even look that, like, smooth, and you can just see him just kind of doing the short taunt to Sharif Cooper, but that's just really impressive stuff in my opinion. And that's the type of, like, confidence and things like that you can't really teach. And so I do kind of like that Thomas does seem to have that. And you could see him right here. He's going to make this free throw. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I think he was 10 of 11 from the line this game. 10 of 11 from the free throw line in this game. So, obviously 88%, that's pretty consistent with that. You can see him right there, though, just kind of like letting the cutters go in front of him, behind him. Doesn't really seem to care a whole lot. And again, right there, just how does Auburn get that rebound? Okay, there we go. So, yeah, just you could see, there's Javonte Smart. And you can see Cam Thomas just kind of sitting on the perimeter. And again, like, so right here, right, so he sees Trendon Watford about to drive. Like, the smart thing to do, I think personally, would be for Cam Thomas to kind of replace that and be one pass away for the kick out. But you can tell he's not really interested. Like, right here, like, this is a perfect example. I think you just kind of, like, shift right here to this open wing area. And then he probably has a pretty open shot. But he doesn't do that. He's just kind of right there. And Watford's going to finish that. But, again, that's a pretty difficult, too. So just kind of just noticing, like, where he could get open. Usually he's very good at that. But, sometimes he just kind of gets a little bit kind of confused, I would say, or just even just kind of, like, apathetic to the whole thing. Right there, decent job stunting. Not much he can really do there since he's guarding near side corner. But Cooper with a nice drive right there. And we got free throws for him. And here comes LSU again. And so he's going to be in that left corner, it looks like. Yeah. Gets blurry here for a little bit, but it gets better. Not much going on there, though. So that's good. I think we're going to get a foul call against Cooper. I guess against Cooper. No. Sorry, I think that's Mike Schmitz. Not 9. Sorry. He's like 30 on my board. Not gonna do that. And here we are. We're back in focus. Sometimes that happens with these games. But yeah, luckily, though, Thomas didn't really do anything in those blurry possessions. We got him off the ball. And again, now he's gonna try and come up and receive it. Excuse me. See Watford right there with a nice little Watford right there with a nice little drop step. So right here, like, Thomas is just kind of like matador defense. He'll try and slide over, and he's just like, "Olé," and then Cooper gets an open layup. Can't really connect on it, though. But again, just kind of like he'll give one half-hearted effort, and then he'll just kind of be like, "Yeah, whatever, I don't give a fuck." So, I mean, he needs to be a little bit more consistent defensively, I think. And we'll see him get back on D right here. Luckily, he doesn't. Javonte Smart with a really nice play. Cam Thomas in that trails position. And again, so right here, probably could have been a foul. But again, you can see him, he kind of shakes number 35 a little bit, right? Gets his feet crossed over, and he's able to kind of exploit that little angle. Again, he's not the quickest guy. He's not, like, slow by any means, but he's not the quickest guy. But he's really good at using his angles, kind of just, like, slithering into certain holes, right? And so he does that here, just can't really finish with the layup. But again, he takes a lot of contact right there. So could have been a foul, and again, I kind of like that overall mindset from him right here. Let's see what he does here. And so again, just shakes him out of his shoes right there with that little jab step. And here he is again. Again, so right here, nice little hesitation. Again, that should have been another foul, honestly. But you can see him right here. This guy is kind of caught asleep, and then Thomas is going to hesi for a little bit. Right there, gets him out of position. He's able to drive to the lane. And right there, that's a pretty decent floater, and that should be a foul, but not called. But like just kind of ironing out some of those, like if he can really get consistent with those floaters, like he's going to be really, really good. He only shot like 40% from the field this year, which obviously isn't a good number. But the thing is, like, you have to take into account shot selection. And so, like, if he's more reined in the NBA to the point where he's only taking, like, good shots, right? All of a sudden, then he becomes a lot more efficient of a shooter. And this possession replayed again. I don't know why, but Thomas didn't really do much. Not really much to be discussed there. You can see Watford kind of handling the ball. And Cooper's going to bite on that shot fake. LSU just can't knock it down. And again, right there, again, Thomas offering little to no resistance. Again, similar thing where he's just going to kind of give one half-hearted effort, and then he's just kind of going to let Sharif Cooper go by him. So, like, right there, Cooper with a nice Euro set, but Thomas could have done a way better job squaring up, maybe trying to take that charge. Just he doesn't really seem to be super interested in defending. But then he'll just do that shit, and you're just kind of like, oh, okay, that's cool. Just like that three, just bang. Just automatic green light, super confident. And those are the types of shots where, like you'll shake your head if they don't go in, but then if they do go in, it's just such a huge boost to your team. And so I think, like I'm willing to kind of take the bad with that upside, at least in my view. I'm sure other people will have different opinions on him. You see him right here just kind of spinning around in a circle, not really knowing what to do, and you can see him just walking back to the ball, just not really doing anything. LSU's going to try and slow down, and we got a phone call. And here's Thomas going to not get the ball back. Again, LSU's really bad at making these passes, like trying to lead people to the ball. That just seems to not be their strength. That's like the third time today where they've just thrown it right out of bounds. Thomas is out right here for a little bit, so I will skip ahead. And we're back. So final 4 minutes, Thomas will be in, and then I'll wrap this video up. And so again, he's in the corner right now. And he's going to slowly make his way, I think, to the middle of the floor. I don't know what's going on. So again, he's going to get a double pin down right here. Not much going on. He's going to curl it. And again, right here, you can kind of just see, like, so the spacing issue, right? Like, I don't think he really kind of, like, grasps, like, where he should be on the floor in this regard. If he's not getting a specific action run for him, then it kind of becomes an issue. So, like, right here, for example. So, like, he's going to notice, so, like, this curl, like, really nothing really going on here. But he's going to cut middle. Instead of popping back out like he probably should, he's going to continue his cut, and it just kind of limits all spacing for LSU, And so just kind of understanding where he should go on the floor when the action isn't necessarily being run for him, I think that would be pretty effective. And that's just going to come with, like, watching film, getting more reps, things like that. Yeah, right here, Trendon Watford. I don't know who number 25 is. I think he's a freshman. I'm not sure what his name is, though. But Thomas is going to probably get this little cross screen. Kind of a similar action, but this time he's going to reject it and then kind of slide through and get the ball. And again, like, off the ball, I think he could be a pretty effective mover just because, like, I think he does have that scoring gravity, but you can see him right here just kind of trying to do too much. Like, that's, like what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, these are types of shots where you're just kind of shaking your head. And so if you can cut out these, like, just dumb shots, right? Tries to sell the foul call, won't get it. Like, if you can cut those shots out, then his numbers, his shooting percentages definitely improve, right? And so, like, it's kind of just like, okay, like, it's like the dichotomy of, like, how confident is too confident, just kind of those things. You can see him right here, not really engaged defensively, standing up. And again, what is he doing here, right? So this is one of those plays where he's just kind of sleepwalking, right? So he's just going to like wander into the lane, right? And he's going to leave his man wide open for a three. Like, what is he doing right here, okay? So his man, he's totally back turned to his man, right? Just walking in, and then he's late to recover, wide open three. So the frustrating part of Thomas is just how bad he is defensively. And because he doesn't really seem to put any effort in, we don't really know how he can be on that end either, because we just don't have enough like sample size for that. So again, just like those types of plays, he might be a pretty temperamental defender where like if he's hitting shots, maybe he's a better defender. We saw that with a little bit with Anthony Edwards last year, and I remember when we were evaluating him. But just kind of like one of those guys, just not really hanging his head on the defense, I would say. Got a timeout here, so I'll skip ahead. We got LSU kind of trapping, or Auburn kind of trapping. Thomas kind of in the right wing. And here we go. Let's see what he does here. And again, right here, another turnover, just kind of, or not a turnover, but just kind of like a, loses the ball going up. And again, just right there, he kind of needs to be a little bit more strong with the ball. I don't mind that, that drive and that scoring outlook for Thomas. Just kind of just be stronger with the ball. That should solve that. And again, I think for having the ball in his hands as much as he did this year, I think he did a pretty good job actually limiting his turnovers. But then if you count like all the bad shots as turnovers, which I tend to do, then it becomes a lot more, damning for him. And here we go. We got Thomas on the ball again. Not much going on here. Javonte Smart going to get that screen. And Thomas just going to stand there. Not much going on. Watford's going to brick that three. We got, here comes Sharif Cooper. Got LSU ball. I think Thomas may have gotten a hand on that. I'm not sure, though. Regardless, he's going to get the ball here. Final minute 17 left in this first half. And again, I apologize if you hear my dog barking. I don't know what's going on. She just won't shut up right now. Thomas going to be... Okay, so right here, that's a really good shot. This is out of horns, right? So it's just a slip, and then somehow, I don't know what happens here. So they both take Watford, and you leave Cam Thomas wide open. He just can't bury this, but that's inexcusable for Auburn. And so that's just a good, just got to bury that shot. But overall, like, that can't happen if you're Auburn. Final minute here. And again, Thomas, you could see him just kind of like, whatever, willingly getting back screen, losing his man, goes for the steal. It's going to lead to a 2-on-1. So, like, right here, why is he going for this, right? So, he's going to go for this little pickpocket steal. He's going to miss it. Auburn's post defender just kind of seeks that out. And so, again, just kind of just like, if he's not going to do something in the first half second, he's not going to do anything at all. And Cooper's going to miss that floater. Not much going on. And he's going to get his own rebound somehow. Got the final 19 seconds left in this first half. This looks like it's going to be the Javonte Smart show. Nope, never mind. Darius Day is going to get that open three. He's going to knock it down. And that should end the first half. So I will pause the video here. I hope you guys enjoyed this first half video. I will be back soon with the second half. So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye.